Toril is a world shaped across countless ages. This is the timeline of Faerun and how each age rose from the ruins of the last. Our story begins before time itself. Our first age is the creation. In a misty realm of timeless nothingness, the overgod Lord Au forged the crystal sphere that holds Abeir-Toril, igniting the epic struggle between light and darkness to come. From the silver sea of creation rose twin goddesses, radiant Selûne and shadowed Shar, perfect opposites born together. In their wake rose other gods and Chauntea, the living soul of the world Abeir-Toril itself. Then came the war of light and darkness. When Chauntea begged for warmth to nurture life, Selûne kindled the sun, but jealous Shar sought to smother every light. The twin sisters turned upon each other in cosmic war. Losing the fight, Selûne tore raw magic from her essence and hurled it at Shar. From that spark was born Mistral, goddess of magic. Shar was driven back, and the weave, the source of all magic, entered Abeir-Toril forever. Yet a greater war loomed. Elemental titans called Primordials sought to unmake the young worlds. Against them, the gods united in the Dawn War, a conflict so vast it raged across 2 entire ages of Abeir-Toril's infancy. The Dawn War's first phase was the Blue Age. Beneath Abeir-Toril's single ocean, the first life flourished. Gentle sea-dwelling races thriving in glowing depths, unaware of the divine war raging across the heavens above them. Then the Blue Age shattered into the Shadow Epoch. A monstrous primordial, Dendar the Night Serpent, ripped the sun from the sky. The oceans froze, darkness reigned, and nearly all life on Abeir-Toril perished in the cold. The Dawn War turned when the Elder Gods, led by Ouroboros the World Serpent, were joined by the traitor Ubtao, who betrayed his primordial kin. The primordials were slain or imprisoned, the sun rekindled, and the primordial age had ended. Among Abeir-Toril's first lords were the giants. The god Anam All-Father wed the earth goddess Athia, and their towering children became the first giants and titans. Giant-kind would rule for uncounted ages. The dragons, too, were ancient. At the world's birth, Io the dragon god forged the first worms from astral fire and elemental fury. Slain in the Dawn War, Io split into Bahamut and Tiamat, whose feud sunders dragonkind still. Now dawned the days of thunder, 35,000 years before Dalereckoning. As the frozen seas receded, the supercontinent Ouroboros emerged. Upon it rose the creator races, the first architects of civilization. Each creator race are ancestors of different races. The Yuan-Ti and Nagas are descended from the Sarok, the frog folk of the swamps from the Batraki, the winged bird races from the Eyrie, the sprites, pixies, and their kin from the Fae. The creator races left one enduring legacy. The serpent folk Sarok encoded the secrets of the weave onto the golden skins of the world serpent. These nether scrolls would one day shape the arcane arts of mortal mages. The Batraki grew proud and rashly made war upon the titans of Anam's brood. Crushed and desperate, they performed a powerful ritual, releasing several primordials from their ancient prison, hoping to unleash them upon their foes. But the primordials turned instead upon the gods. Intent on destroying the world, Asgorath the World Shaper hurled an ice moon at Abeir-Toril, merging 4 inner seas into the Sea of Fallen Stars, an event known as the Tearfall. As the primordials threatened to unmake the world entirely, Au intervened. The Hidden One split Abeir-Toril in 2, banishing the primordials to the new world of Abeir and keeping Toril for the gods. So began eons of separation. In the Tearfall's wake, countless dragon eggs hatched across Toril, and so began the Dawn Ages, the time of dragons. Mighty worms carved out sky-spanning empires, ruling land, sea, and air as absolute tyrants over all below. But the dragons were not unopposed. Anam's mighty children raised the colossal kingdom of Astoria across the young world. The giants rose to challenge dragon supremacy, and a war of 1,000 years began. In the heavens, betrayal split the elven gods. The traitor goddess Arishni was cast down by Corellin and became Lolt, the demonic spider queen. Her fall planted a seed of darkness that would one day corrupt her own people. The elves were not born of Toril. To undermine the reign of dragons, the Fae opened gates to the otherworld, and the first elves stepped onto Faerun, newcomers who would soon raise the world's most glorious civilizations. After 1,000 years, the Great War ground to a weary truce, and the giant kingdom of Astoria shrank to the cold lands. The elves then unleashed high magic that drove the dragons into a suicidal madness, and their dominion collapsed at last. So began the first flowering, the golden age of the elves. Great realms like Aravendar, Elefarn, and Mioridir rose to their height. In their protective shadow, humans, dwarves, and others slowly climbed toward civilization. But elven pride bred catastrophe. Around 17,600 before Dalereckoning, the elves created the elven paradise of Evermeet using high magic. The reckless ritual caused the First Sundering, splitting Mararabaros into continents of Faerun, Mastika, and Katashaka. Elven ambition then curdled into the crown wars. For 3,000 years, the elf realms slaughtered one another for supremacy. Proud southern kingdoms fell one after another, and the elves' golden unity was broken forever. The crown wars birthed unspeakable horrors. The dark disaster obliterated the forest realm of Mioridir in a killing storm, leaving only the blasted gray wasteland known ever after as the High Moor, a wound Toril never healed. From that darkness came the fall of the Dark Elves. Corrupted by cruelty and the schemes of the Spider Queen Lolt, they were cast down and banished beneath the world to become the Drow, traitors exiled to the Underdark. With the elder power spent, the founding time, the age of proud peoples began. Dwarven civilization blossomed, raising the great kingdoms of Shanadar and Delzone, while the first mighty human nations, Calimshan and Jomdeth, took root. But the dwarves' golden age curdled. Civil wars, drow raids, and mind flayer slavers ground the shield dwarves down, even splintering the cursed Duergar from their kin. As their birthright withered, kingdom after kingdom fell dark and empty. Then came humanity's hour. As elves and dwarves declined, the age of humanity dawned, and human empires Netheril, Amaskar, Mulhorand, Undr, Narfell, and Ramathar rose, reshaping the world with startling ambition and speed. Greatest was Netheril, whose archwizards mastered Mistrils weave so completely they raised entire cities into the sky. For 2,000 years, their floating enclave stood as the pinnacle of arcane achievement in all of history. Then came Karsus's Folly. In 339 before Dalereckoning, the archwizard Karsus seized the power of Mistril herself. To save the weave she sacrificed herself, reborn as the goddess Mistra, and Netheril's sky cities crashed from the heavens. From those ashes rose new realms. In the year 1, elves and human settlers raised the standing stone to seal a lasting pact. From that moment the world counts its years. The calendar of Dalereckoning had begun. In 261, by Dalereckoning, the elves of Cormenthor opened their forest capital to all peoples. Renamed Myth Drannor and crowned with a mighty Mythil, it became the City of Song, the greatest unity among the races Faerun had ever known. But its light drew darkness. In 714, the Weeping War erupted as a demonic army of darkness stormed Cormenthor. After years of slaughter, Myth Drannor fell. Barely 200 of 3,000 defenders survived to tell of its passing. Grief and decline turned the elves inward. Over centuries, they abandoned their realms across Faerun, culminating in the Great Retreat of 1344, a mass withdrawal to the island of Evermeet, leaving the continent to the younger races. Even as the elves departed, humankind was inheriting the continent. Across the long age of humanity, proud realms like Cormor, the great port of Waterdeep, and countless others had risen. A Faerun bound by trade, faith, and bitter rivalry. In 1358, the age of humanity gave way to the era of Upheaval. Enraged by the theft of the Tablets of Fate, Overgod Au cast the gods down to walk Toril as mortals. The time of troubles had come. For a year, gods bled and died in the streets as mortals, and magic ran wild across the land. When the chaos cleared, a mortal woman named Midnight ascended to become the new goddess of magic, taking Mystra's fallen mantle. The time of troubles left a profound legacy. By Au's decree, a deity's power would now flow from the number and fervor of its worshippers. Never again could the gods afford to ignore their faithful. But the goddess of magic would fall again. In 1385, Mystra was murdered by the mad god Cyric, instigated by ancient Shar. Her death tore the weave asunder and unleashed the Spellplague, a tide of raging blue fire. The Spellplague reshaped everything. Blue fire warped flesh and magic alike, while whole nations vanished or drowned. In their place appeared alien lands from Abeir, Toril's long-lost twin world. Geography was violently rewritten. For 100 years, Faerun endured the Spellplague's scars. Roads crumbled, ports ran dry, and civilization huddled into scattered points of light amid the dark. It was a bleak age of survival, ruin, and hard-won courage. Then the cycle turned once more. Around 1482, long-dead gods stirred and mortals called the Chosen blazed with divine power. Their rise sparked wars and wonders across Faerun, heralding a world-changing new era, the Second Sundering. As the Second Sundering unfolded, disaster racked the world. Earthquakes shattered cities, and the Great Rain drowned vast lands around the sea of fallen stars. Even the laws binding gods and reality strained toward breaking. At last the Second Sundering healed the ancient wound. In 1487 and 1488, the worlds of Toril and Abeir gently drifted apart. The borrowed alien lands departed, and Toril slowly reclaimed its true and rightful shape. As the worlds parted, realms thought lost forever returned. Magic mighty Halriua, the hidden isles of Lantan and Nimbril, and drowned Luyern rose again from exile. The deep wounds of a shattered century began to close at last. And so we reach the present age, around 1492 by Dalereckoning. Faerun stands renewed yet wary. Old kingdoms rebuilding, new heroes rising, and ancient evils stirring once more. The world is whole again, but never truly at peace. From the creation and the dawn war to this fragile present, Toril has risen and fallen through age after age. The endless cycle of ruin and rebirth turns onward. And in Faerun, the next age always waits to begin.